Greetings, everyone. Hope you had a marvelous weekend. We're here with our Feng Shui Toolkit for the month of the dog. I'm not saying October anymore, but it still is the month of the dog. And so we still have a few days left of this month to release and let go things that are no longer serving us, because that is one of the main things that you can do within this month to prepare yourself for the upcoming year of the water tiger, which is really one of the reasons why I've been doing this series. So we've done it Monday through Friday since the beginning of October. And what we've done is we've done person, space, time, and universe. And what that means is we've done the personal, which is your business astrology. We do that on Mondays. Tuesdays, we do space, which is about achieving your goals through feng shui. Wednesdays, we look at the favorable timing system, the TimeBlazr. And it's not about just avoiding the good times, it's also or capitalizing on the good times, but also avoiding the times that can trip you up. And then we do a meditation on Thursday using the universal gateway, which is using our body as the antenna to be the receptor of your universal wisdom. And then on Fridays, we do the Q&A, and I bring Alice on, and it's sort of an ask me anything. So this is your opportunity this week to go ahead and ask questions that you would like to have answered. And so we're going to just dive in. But first of all, if you're new to my community, hi, we're so happy that you're here today. My name is Kathleen Horvath Samansky. I'm a business feng shui master, astrologer, and the creator of the TimeBlazr business management system. So today we are talking about astrology. So let's head over to a chart so that you can have an idea of what a chart will look like through my software. And you can actually order your software, and it's absolutely no charge to get your chart. And you go to freebusinessastrology.com. And then once you log in with your information, you're going to see a chart that looks like this, but with your information on it. Today, I've decided to talk a little bit about your day element. This is your element of your day of birth. And so there's going to be a little pop-out menu up here that's just going to tell you a little bit about the element that you were born under. Now, you are one of 10 possibilities. The astrology is actually built on the 5 elements, and then it is either the sum total of all of the elements, which is your 5 structures, and some of you may not have all of the 5 elements. It was your destiny to be born that way, as well as then once you take the 5 elements, then they are divided into the yin and yang of the 5 elements. And again, this is the sum total of your natal chart. Now, I focus on business astrology, even though there is going to be, a lot of information about your personal, about your health, about the way in which you operate in this world. So let me just briefly tell you which each one of these pillars mean. And a pillar is the element on top and an animal on the bottom. The year of birth is about your social circles, it's about the people you know, it's about your marketing, and it's about your brand, how far and wide are you noticed in the world. And then it is also about your networking efforts. Your month of birth is about your character, so it's a very important pillar. It is also about your work and what you're best suited at doing. Your day of birth, which we're doing a lot of focus on, so I'm going to skip and come back to this. And then the hour of birth is about your dreams, your goals. This is, the pillar that is going to tell you, am I on my right track about my goals? It is about your legacy, if you will, and it is also about your investments, about all the money that you are going to receive over the course of your lifetime. What are you going to do with it? What would be the best strategy for that? Now, I realize some of you do not know your time of birth, and really what I want to tell you is don't worry about it. If you don't know it, then there's one piece of the 100% that I just told you about. There's year, month, day. You need to have at least these 3 to run a chart. The hour of birth, yes, it does not tell you the things that I just described. And it is going to skew this information up slightly because we are only now figuring out the three pillars, and then it's just by default going to put in the a certain pillar, which is going to be the rat hour. Okay, so with that said, let's focus on the day of your day of birth. So your day of birth is the pillar that we want to most protect. Why? Because it serves us in so many ways. It serves in our personal and our professional relationships. It serves in our family relationships. It serves in our health decisions that we are going to be looking at. There, it's just very, very, very important, and we want to protect that. So, in whether there's people that have said to me that can they change their chart? No, but you can change the way you live your chart. And that's a very big distinction. I want to repeat that. You cannot change your natal chart. You were born with a certain day and time. That was your destiny. But what you can do is change the way you live your chart. If you keep going through patterns of unstableness, if you keep attracting the same things over and over again, there might be a moment of pause, you pausing and going, what can I do a little bit better so that my life is easier? Well, it starts with really fully embracing the day of birth. Now, I'm not going to go through each one of these different archetypes, if you will. I'm just going to talk about the what you see on your screen. You look on yours to see what it means, because it's really just reading this little information. Of course, it expands out. That's what you get in a personal reading, if you will. But really, what I want you to do is first, number one, understand what your day of birth top element. Everything is important in your chart, but right now we are looking at the top element, and in this case it's yin earth. So in this particular person, very good for, and let me see if I can actually open this up a little bit so you can see it a little bit easier. So it's like Mother Earth. So it's very nurturing, very fertile. You have lots of ideas. Why? Because the earth is what's needed to grow all of our plants. It's what's keeping us on the ground. It is very stable. So it's very nurturing and loving. And so this is, if you're a person that was born with yin earth, then this is going to be, you're very resourceful in the things that you can do, and you can produce a lot of things. Why? You plant seeds and it produces. So you're very multi-talented. There's lots of minerals and roots and everything growing beneath the surface, but you can always develop over time, if you will. But it is also, this is an element that can be a little bit, too controlling, trying to, control the way things go, and things can get muddy, especially if we end up adding too much water at any given time. One of the elements that might be in your chart, or one of the annual elements that might be influencing your chart, it can make things muddy, that you can't even see through things that you are going to be doing. Now, why is that important? It's important to know that when certain either times of the year, like for example, we are going to be going into the first month of what's considered winter, which is the month of November, and that's the pig month. And so that's a lot of water coming into the chart. So this person might have more, their thoughts being kind of covered up, or just things are just not clear. It's foggy, it's muddy, it's messy, etc. Then we have the rat of the December, which is again kind of like a big ocean water that's just going to try to, wash away. Now, yin earth is easier to wash away than yang earth. Yang earth is more like a mountain. The water stops when it hits the mountain. Yeah, over time those crashing waves might erode away on the edge of the water, if you will. But for the most part, a very large mountain is going to take centuries before that can actually happen. More of a downpour can make or blasting earth can make yang earth erode away. All right, but let's stay on topic. Really, what we're trying to figure out today is what is your day of birth. Now, let me go on to something that I think is essential for right now, and that is we are going through a very special time that is happening in I would say in our lifetime. We are going through a shift in energy that is, there's many layers to it. One of the layers is we're going through a big period shift from going from earth energies, which is the number 8, and then we're going into period 9, which is all about fire. So we're going into this we're in the year of the metal ox, and we are shedding, we are starting to thaw out, even though because the ox is more like a winter. It's the end of winter before we go into spring. So we have to think sort of seasonally versus what we're seeing outside. If you live in the northern hemisphere, we're going into the colder months of the year, and so you're like, well, what do you mean that we're thawing out? No, we're just starting winter. No, you have to think it from an astrological perspective. So now we're the ice is melting, and we're going into a year of the water tiger. Now, the water tiger to me has more possibilities, doesn't come without problems. There's never going to be a year where, oh, everything is just, wonderful. All this, messiness is going to go away. No, it's the beginning of spring, and the strongest will survive. It's going to be more of that kind of energy that is going to be coming in, but there's a lot of things that we can do to prepare for that. So what I'm trying to express here is the remainder of the metal ox year, especially the next, I'm going to say 40 days or so, are going to be very crucial for you to start getting ready for the upcoming energy, which is pretty darn exciting. So this next slide of what I'm going to show you is what is Earth to you. And really what we need to do, let me go back to the astrology chart for just a second. We are going to be looking at on your chart. Oops, I just made it go away. So for me to pull it back is going to be kind of not easy. So I'm going to go instead. Let's see if I can do it this way. Give me just a second, because I do want you to see where it shows up in the natal chart. Let me just log into the TimeBlazr very quickly, because I can find a chart over there. No problem. Just give me 1 second. All right. So, is this right if I go over here? Let's see. Yay. Okay. All right. So basically what we're looking at is we're going to go to this astrology tab on the TimeBlazr, but really what I want you to see is this particular dial right here. It's called the 5 structures, and it's located right below the astrology chart. Okay, now that we have that, what I want to do is now go to this particular dial, and I'm right over here in the middle of the 5 structure dial, just to keep you in tune with what's happening in this dial. Excuse me. So remember, you are one of the 5 elements as your day element, and that's going to be this on the side over here, but it doesn't really matter if you know that or not. All I want you to do is look at what is Earth to you, because it's going to be different depending on what your day element is, the year you were born, and the gender in which you are, you ran the chart. So what we need to do is we need to find out, is it resource power, wealth creation, or networks? So I'm going to go through all of these so you can understand them. And I'm going to tell you why, before we do this, why it's important for you to understand this at this particular time. What we're trying to do is we're trying to release this earth that keeps holding us back, and it's packed with unstable, negative patterns that we keep living out. It is, again, if you feel like in the past, and nobody is really free from this, is that you have, some things that you would like to have better in your life. You'd like to have better, maybe relationships, better finances, better clients, better health, better emotional and mental stability. You would like to have a better, fulfilling spiritual practice, for example. Any of those or all of those, you could go, yeah. Or maybe I'm good in this one, but I need to put a little bit more emphasis on some of these others. The other thing I want you to start thinking about is, what about things that are, that have really kind of gnawed at you, in the respect is there a friendship that got torn apart because of a conversation or an action that was done, and you're really feeling bad about it? And you could be on either side of it. You could have been the recipient of it, or you could have been the perpetrator of it. Either way, it doesn't feel good to you. Have you felt like you've been betrayed? Have you felt like, your heart is broken? Have you felt like, oh my gosh, if I would have done this 10 years ago, things would have been, very different? Yeah, they probably would have been, but here you are right now. So here's the opportunity right now to start cleaning some of these things up. And this is the perfect moment for it. The only way that you're going to have an extremely successful year in 2022 is to start dealing with your stuff now. Because when you clear the decks as best that you can to your ability, the more you are going to be able to manifest the things you want for next year. Next year is an incredibly great opportunity to 10x your year by doing certain things. And one of the first things we need to do is the inner work. Inner work is fun? No, it's never fun. Maybe there's certain stages of it, but when you're just going into dealing with, let's just call it what it is, your baggage, and taking ownership of your responsibility in the baggage, then you can carry your lighter bag. You don't need as much stuff to be lugging around. Stop being a pack rat of the things that you don't have to be dealing with, right? Okay, so let's talk about, and let's just use this in this direction. So imagine, let's just going to start with networks. If Earth is networks to you, then just go over to this key and look at what you need to be doing to best serve your chart to help you take that next step forward. Yeah, you can work on all of them, but work on this one first. All right, so if Earth is networks to you, it's about, what are you procrastinating about? Where do you lack trust in your mind's eye that if it's not perfect, so you do nothing? So you either it's not, a yes or no, or a clearly, one side or the other, and it has to be this way, or you just, okay, I'm not going to do anything, then just throw up your hands and I'm not going to do anything. That is not the best solution for you. One of the better solutions would be, what are you procrastinating about, and what one step can you do today? And it might be just opening up a doc. It might be starting a journal. It might be, getting out of your remote working space and take a walk down the block. You don't even have to walk around it. Just start somewhere today. Stop procrastinating. You've got to make this commitment to yourself. No one can do it for you. All right, then the next one, if this brown color was in this position, creation, what would creation mean if that was Earth? That means control issues brings more suffering. So really, what is it that you are controlling so much you can't even delegate anything anymore? That it's, you micromanage it because it's too hard to explain it to somebody, and you could do it better yourself kind of attitude. That is holding you back. You will be able to go further with a group of like-minded people than you can do on your own. That's why community is so important. So what little thing can you do today to say, all right, I'm going to let this person do this no matter what, and you're going to be okay with it? One of the best ways that I can describe this is, I, maybe clean a house different than a housekeeper will. But you know what? I don't have to clean the house. So you kind of let it go that, yeah, or maybe do, go back and just kind of do a few little pickup things after if you're really that OCD. But that's really what this is. You're being so OCD that you will not let others help you. That's going to hold you back. Look at that. Let's look at wealth. And that is, if wealth is your earth element, this only is if it's your earth element is wealth. Then are you someone that is so insecure that you need validation for every little thing that you do? Start looking at and going, hey, I did a good job. That was really good. Like, give yourself the self-validation. Don't be always looking outward for it. Everybody's going through some stuff right now, you guys, and maybe they don't have the strength to validate you. Just like, again, this is walking a mile in someone else's shoes. This is how I want you to think about it, okay? And what if it's power? What if earth is power to you? So it's keeping toxic people in your life that negatively impact you emotionally. So maybe this is people that is very close to you, people that you live with. It could be your children, it could be your coworkers, it could be your partners. What is it, friends, that is just a one-way street, and it's never a reciprocal. Like, people can have things fall apart in their lives and maybe they're more needed at a certain time, but if it's that person that keeps you in a position where you're being just sucked energy out of, like they are the energy vampires in your life, then maybe it's time that you admit that and go, what steps can I take to start deleting these people from taking that energy away? Standing up in your power. And if you cannot stand up in your power with these people, then you're going to have to start editing them out and bringing in people that are of your values, that are of your um, of your same wellness that you want to have for yourself. It's very hard to be around toxic people and be well yourself, unless you're seeking, help. And again, is this an occasional thing that there's been an upset, or is this something that's all they bring to you is hardship? It's the cutting shear time, if you want to move forward in your life. All right, and then the last one, if earth ends up being resource to you, then you need to literally start saying no. It's the mom that is working, taking care of the children, things are getting back to normal, and then they say, we need cupcakes for this event on Saturday, and you're the first one to raise your hand. Pull your hand back down. You have to start taking care of yourself. So when you're always doing for others and not taking care of yourself, and then you end up being drained and not being able to do your best work, who does that actually serve? So this is the proverbial put the oxygen mask on your face first, and whatever strength you have left, and if it makes sense to you, then you help other people. Don't do it at the risk of harming yourself. So Anyway, this is what I'd like you to think about. You may want to take a little screenshot of this if that will help you as far as understanding what Earth is to you, and it will only be one. Again, where do we find that? We find that on our astrology chart right below our natal chart, and there's going to be one box that says Earth. Then you look at this key, and then you will be able to find out what Earth is to you. All right, so this is something that I would really highly suggest that you work on for at least another, couple of months for sure, is really being true to yourself. And how you be true to yourself is by looking at this particular box. Now, if you liked doing some of this stuff, which I hope you do, because then you're actually working your chart. So we just did a little pop-up class that's called 12 Keys to Unlock Your Internal Codes. And this is looking at your animals and the day animal. Today we looked at the day master and what Earth is to you. But within this is a nice little course that will help you really address what we're looking at is at least the last 12 years of your life. And by doing so, again, we're able to position ourselves in such a better way for 2022. But it is this, being a little bit uncomfortable will have great rewards for you later. So if you're interested in that class, it's bit.ly/unlock12. It's a very low investment for what you would get in return. You are going to miss one date. I give you 3 dates. It's something that I would encourage you to work on every day, but there's 3 remaining dates that is going to help you unlock and release these negative patterns and these traumatic experiences that we might have experienced over our lifetime, and we want to release them so we don't attract that same energetic pattern anymore. It's time to change that. So you first need to know what's in your chart. You need to know how to, and I walk you through the last 12 years, and you can go all the way back to conception if you'd like. But this is something that I highly recommend to all of my clients and to you, my dear friends. So anyway, so the next date that is coming up is going to be on November 12th. It's at a specific time. And to unlock that, you need to go to bit.ly/unlock12. Okay, that's what we have for you today. We so appreciate you logging in and being with us. We hope that what we offered you today is something that is going to be the beginning of you crafting your destiny the way you want it versus just winging it. And we will see you tomorrow where we're going to talk about feng shui. So until then, may good chi follow wherever you may go. Many blessings, my friends. Bye-bye.